From a waterfall retreat to a home in a spaceship, here are 10 of the coolest houses where I'm sure you would love to live. Number 10. The Bubble House. If you're an architect and money's no object, then you'd be able to build whatever type of house you want, and that's exactly what Antti Lovac did in the hills of Cannes in southern France. Between 1975 and 1989, he built a sprawling complex known as the Bubble House, and it's one of the most unique homes on the planet. It was bought by the fashion designer Pierre Cardin and has since become the site for high-profile celebrity parties, hosting stars like Dakota Fanning, Pierce Brosnan, and Marion Cotillard. He also hires it out for events for $15,000 a day, especially to companies wanting to host extravagant parties, usually during the Cannes Film Festival. The complex covers almost 13,000 square feet, has 10 rooms, 3 swimming pools, stunning gardens, and even a 500-seat amphitheater. Inspired by ancestral homes, the terracotta-colored pods are just as unusually designed on the inside as they are on the outside. Recently, the pad has been put up for sale for a whopping $500 million. But if that's slightly out of your price range, you can hire a room for just $1,000 a day to experience it for yourself. Number 9. The Turning House. It's the age-old problem. When you want to buy a house, which direction do you want it to face? The sun in the morning is in a different place in the sky than it is in the evening, and usually you have to make a choice about what is more important. Towards the sun, away from the sun, is it energy efficient? There is a way around this though, as Bohumil Lota from the Czech Republic found out. He, by himself, has spent more than 20 years building his ideal home. A vast proportion of it is underground and was constructed with eco-efficiency in mind. It maintains a constant temperature throughout the year because it is insulated by the ground around it. On the lower level, there is a circular swimming pool, and the top floor is the living quarters. But the views are what makes this house a one-of-a-kind. And it's not just the one view that this place has, because the orientation of the building is completely changeable. It's often referred to as the roundabout house, because when you're bored of what you're looking at, or simply want to chase the sun, you can push the mechanism and turn the entire structure around to face in whatever direction you want. Cool, right? Customizable houses could quite possibly become the way of the future. They allow you to make the best use of the warmth of the sun's rays and use less power to heat it up by other means. For the moment, though, this is the only one of these homes in the world, so you'll need to move to the mountains near Prague to be able to live in it, if it's ever for sale. Number 8. The Hobbit House. Simon Dale didn't want to be weighed down with house payments for the rest of his life, so he instead decided to build one of his own. Armed with only $5,000, a chainsaw, hammer, and chisel, he moved his family to a Welsh hillside and got to work. He had no experience with carpentry or designing houses and used a material that he scavenged from local refuse facilities. Can you imagine? If I were his wife, I don't know if I would have been as supportive of this decision. Just 4 months later, though, the result was amazing. It's an eco-home built into the hill and looks just like the kind of house you'd expect to see the Hobbit living in. Dale kept eco-friendliness as a core theme here and made the outer shell from straw and plastic sheets to keep rainwater out and the heat in. He covered the whole thing with gravel to ensure it fits in perfectly with the surroundings. Power is generated by discreetly placed solar panels. There's a fridge that is kept cool by the air being blown from beneath the foundations, and they even have a compost toilet so nothing goes to waste. While this structure will always be his family home, Dale has been contracted to build a replica in the Lammas village, the first eco-village in Wales, so soon enough, you can make one of these your home. Number 7. The Sky Sphere. They're known for doing things a bit different in New Zealand, and the Sky Sphere is no exception. Jonah Williams, a director of an IT company, came up with the idea when out drinking with a friend and made the designs in his spare time. 3 years later, his plan has become a reality, with an eco-friendly, high-tech structure that stands a cut above the rest. He initially wanted to build a treehouse, but wanted something tougher, so he used a 32-foot steel column for the support. He designed the 360-degree polycarbonate windows for the perfect view, and even had to design his own heating system to install into the floor. While this house is high up and in a remote location, it doesn't mean it comes without all the modern conveniences. It has high-speed internet, a projector screen, a stargazing platform, and best of all, a remote-controlled beer dispenser. Everything here can be controlled from a smartphone app, and it also has voice-controlled lighting, electric doors, fingerprint locks, and a wireless sound system. In total, this house only cost him about $50,000 to build, so it just goes to show that the best homes aren't necessarily the most expensive. Number 6. The Flintstones house. Usually people want to have futuristic homes that push the boundaries when it comes to combining technology and a living space, but one home in Malibu has gone the complete opposite way. This famous house was built by Dick Clark, not to be confused with the other Flintstones house. Because of restrictions about what you can build in the area, the plan was to construct something that blended into its surroundings as much as possible, and that's how the idea of the Flintstones house came into being. The property sits on 23 acres of land and has been designed to look like a rock formation. It has 1 bedroom and 2 bathrooms and has the iconic prehistoric look from the cartoon. Its architect described it as heavy stucco with lots of rocks thrown into the mix. The stucco was scrubbed before being put in place to give it the worn look, and irregular shaped windows and large glass sheets were used to give a 360-degree view. It's a perfect mix of nostalgia and the unusual, so it was a surprise that it sold for only $1.8 million in 2014, which was half of the asking price. I wonder what happened there. And now for number 5, but first remember to subscribe before you leave. Number 5. Ground Fridge. Floris Schonderbeek is a Dutch designer who comes up with solutions based upon experience, functionality, and durability. He wants to bring unique structures into the world that look different and are eco-conscious, and this ground fridge is one of his highest profile designs. It looks like a giant ball with an opening and can be placed wherever you like. It can simply be an artwork in a courtyard or, in the way he intended it to be used, buried underground with only the door being visible. Inside is the equivalent storage space of 20 standard refrigerators, which can store about 1,100 pounds worth of food. Quite often, modern houses are built without basements, and this structure helps to provide extra storage space for those who need it. When it's underground, the natural insulating effects of the earth help to keep it at a constant temperature throughout the year, which makes it ideal to store items like fruit, wine, vegetables, and cheese. If you need more room or simply somewhere to escape to for some peace and quiet, then this could be the ideal home extension for you. Number 4. Spaceship House. In Signal Mountain, Tennessee, the woods conceal something quite unusual. Rather than being proof of alien life, the Spaceship House is in fact the brainchild of Curtis King, who built his saucer-shaped home in 1972. It cost him $250,000 to build and was complete with all the futuristic features you would expect. There's a drop-down staircase to get into the house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a full bar and entertainment area. Virtually everything within the house is rounded to fit in with the overall design scheme. There's over 2,000 feet of living space within the dome, which is made from steel and concrete, and it's seen a number of owners over the years since Curtis King moved out. Apparently, the retractable staircase, which is currently broken and remains in place on the ground, came in quite handy on a number of occasions. One neighbor remembered how a woman who was arguing with her husband pulled up the stairs and parked his truck underneath, so he was trapped inside until she decided to free him. It recently sold for around $120,000 and is available to rent as a vacation home. If you're an avid alien hunter, then surely there's no better place on Earth to spend your free time. Number 3. Brooklyn Clock Tower Home. If you've got a crazy amount of money to spend on a new residence and want the best views possible across New York, then the Brooklyn Clock Tower Home would be perfect. This 6,813 square foot penthouse is at the top of Dumbo's Clock Tower building and recently broke the record for being the most expensive unit sold in Kings County, selling for $15 million. The 3-floored 3-bedroom apartment has the 4 14-foot clock faces of the building set into its windows and offers unparalleled views across Lower Manhattan. And if you're in the bathroom, the Statue of Liberty. It also comes with an elegant chef's kitchen, 50-foot high ceilings, and even a private glass-enclosed 3-story elevator. There's nowhere else in New York quite like this place, but even with its unique features, it took more than 4 years to sell it to its current owner. Number 2. Japanese Slide House. Houses just aren't well designed for kids. They have to use adult things like stairs and banisters. How boring is that? Well, there's one home in Japan that's done away with the sensible features and instead connected all 3 floors with a slide. Finally! It was built by Level Architects in Meguro-ku, Tokyo, and covers 1,762 square feet. On one side are the traditional staircases and corridors, and the other side is the giant slide, which all combine to provide a circular route around the whole house. This gives residents the choice of how to get around, and on each level they can decide between using the stairs or the slide to go down, or maybe even climb the slide back up. The living areas are on the first floor and lead out to a double-high terrace which can also be used as a ball pen for the children to play in. The top floor is where the bedroom and bathroom have been installed, and the ground floor comes complete with a home office and traditional Japanese-themed room. This wasn't built as a concept house either. It was built to the exact wishes and specifications of the client who wanted somewhere fun for the kids to grow up and where memories would be made. That surely will be the case. Who wouldn't have wanted a place like this when they were growing up, or even now as responsible adults? Number 1. Falling Water. Falling Water was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright for the owner of the Kaufman department store in 1935 and was built in southwestern Pennsylvania. Intended as a weekend home, it partly covers the waterfall and is one of the most beautiful houses in the world. It's so loved in the area that it was even designated as a National Historic Landmark in 1966. Perhaps the most surprising thing about this house is that despite having an initial idea of what he wanted to do, Wright was forced to draw the plans within 2 hours one Sunday because the clients called ahead for an unplanned visit to see what he had come up with. While slight changes were needed, the clients were really happy with the ideas and they soon became a reality. It truly is one of the best houses in the world and one that anyone would be lucky to live in. These days, though, it has been turned into a museum, so you're able to be one of the 120,000 people who visit the property every year. Thanks for watching! Which one of these houses would you like to live in? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!